once saved, always thing is in my head, and I feel a calling by Jesus to shoot this stuff down. And if you are going to trust eternal torment to the words of a YouTuber, me or anyone else, then you are making the biggest galactical mistake of your life. You have an obligation, according to 2 Peter, to learn and to grow in your knowledge, to be fruitful. It also talks about how we have to live a holy life. When you say once saved, always saved, I know that can be kind of fuzzy language for a lawyer for me to deal with because I can shoot holes in that. Let's first see what this preacher says. I know he's a famous guy.
We say once saved, always saved. That's the second step in the error. First of all, we redefine what it means to be saved. What it means to be saved is to walk the aisle and pray the prayer. And then after that, we say, once saved, always saved. That's why every time somebody finds out that you believe in eternal security, they ask, well, what if somebody gets saved? Their definition is walk the aisle, pray the prayer. And then after that, they go out and they just shoot 5,700 people. It's always something ridiculous, you know. Commit adultery 98,000 times, you know, and then, you know, all of these, you know, well, what if they do that? What if they do that?
It doesn't have to be 98,000 times. Jesus says just doing it once is enough.
Here's what they're saying. And by the way, they're absolutely right. They're just turned upside down theologically. They're absolutely right that that doctrine of once saved, always saved, if we define salvation as you ask Jesus into your heart, if we define salvation as you walk the aisle, you pray the prayer, then they're absolutely right.
I don't define salvation that way. That to me is not the way you get saved. You left out baptism, for example.
It's ridiculous. But here's where they're making a theological error. A lot of people who walk down an aisle and pray a prayer are not saved. Parable of the soils.
But think about the illogical argument he's making that he thinks sounds logical. Well, you know, if they do these things, then they were never saved to begin with. If a person goes into sin after being saved, then they turn to sin. He says, well, hold on, man. You can't hold that against us because that person was never saved to begin with. So therefore, we don't count them. Well, the guy who said all of that, who did the baptism and turned his heart to Jesus, he believed he was saved. And now you're telling us that he was saved, at least in his mind, but he finds out later he's not saved, which means he is not eternally secure. And that means that he was never saved to begin with. So therefore, there's no such thing as eternal security because you don't know that you're not saved. The reality is that then you don't know who is eternally secure.